It started on a chilly evening when my wife walked out of the bedroom, already dressed in clothes that seemed far too glamorous for that late hour. I asked where she was headed, and instead of answering plainly, she snapped, "Where I go is none of your business." Her voice was sharp and dismissive, and it hit me harder than I expected. We had been married for years, yet in an instant I felt like a stranger in my own home. Her words rang in my ears long after she slammed the door and left. I told myself she was simply upset, maybe venting with friends, but the doubt burrowed deeper. I stayed awake, pacing the living room, watching the clock as the hours dragged. Midnight passed, then 1 a.m. She still hadn't come back. At 3 a.m., my phone's piercing ring broke the silence. My hands shook as I answered. A man's voice, frantic and hurried, told me to hurry over. My wife had been drinking and something had happened. The details were fuzzy, but the message was unmistakable. She was in trouble. I grabbed my keys without another thought and sped into the night. When I arrived, my worst fear became real. She was in a hotel parking lot, surrounded by people I didn't know. She was confused, and the man who had called me slipped away as soon as I showed up. From the expressions on their faces, it wasn't hard to guess what had gone on. The sting of betrayal cut deeper than any wound I'd known. I didn't make a scene. Instead, I quietly helped her into the car, drove her home, and laid her in bed. She mumbled half-formed excuses, barely coherent from the drink. I didn't argue or shout because in that moment I decided her betrayal would not go unanswered. I would give her a revenge she'd never see coming. The next morning she behaved as if nothing had occurred. She brushed her hair in front of the mirror and sipped coffee like it was any other day. When I asked about the previous night, she dismissed me again with the same icy arrogance. "It's none of your business." That was the final confirmation I needed. Over the following weeks, I played the part of the devoted husband. I smiled, went to work, and acted as if everything were normal. But quietly, I collected every piece of evidence I could find. Phone logs, text messages, photographs. Her carelessness became my advantage. Each lie she told piled up until the truth could no longer be denied. I also consulted a lawyer. Carefully and discreetly, I prepared the divorce papers. I made sure the outcome would favor me. The house, the savings, even the car that was technically in my name. I was patient because I wanted my revenge to be complete and irrevocable. One Friday night, she told me she was going out again. I nodded, smiled, and wished her a good time. After she left, I set my plan in motion. By the time she stumbled back in heels and wearing a perfume that wasn't hers, I was seated at the dining table with a folder of papers neatly arranged. She froze when she saw me. I slid the folder across the table. "It's your business now," I said flatly. Her face drained of color as she understood what was inside. Every detail of her indiscretions, every plan I had made, and the divorce papers waiting for her signature. She tried to cry, to beg, to wriggle out of it. I didn't flinch. For every excuse she offered, I had proof to shut her down. For every tear she shed, I remembered the night she spat those words, "It's none of your business." Now it was my right to determine what was and wasn't my business. The weeks that followed were a wreck for her. She lost the house, most of her savings, and the facade she had worked so hard to keep. The people she expected to stand by her vanished once the truth came out. She fell from arrogance into desperation, but I had already moved on. I'm not proud of the pain I caused, but I can't deny the satisfaction of turning her own lies against her. My revenge wasn't just about ending the marriage. It was about reclaiming my dignity. She had believed she could walk over me without consequence. She was wrong. Even now, looking back, I don't see myself as cruel. I see someone who learned that silence can speak louder than shouting and patience can be sharper than fury. She once told me my questions weren't my business. In the end, I made sure everything became exactly that: my business, my decision, my revenge. And when I finally closed that chapter, I did so with a calm heart, certain that justice had been served in the quietest, most devastating way possible.